As we inch closer and closer to Halloween, it's become quite clear that Nintendo passed out all the big games as trick-or-treat favors, and the new announcements have all but evaporated. It's kind of like they're ghosting us as these weeks progress towards the fall. Big titles are coming out, but it's another slim week when it comes to the brand new. We did manage to scrounge up 6 games, though. 5 are brand new announcements. 1 is a release date update, and there is quite the variety. I think variety is the name of the game because all of these titles, none of them are like the other at all. And we'll begin, Gabe, with YouTuber's Life OMG Edition. This is very meta and very strange for me to be talking about, but if you want to have a pretend YouTube career, this is what you get on November 14th.
I like how you said me instead of us. This is a game that I also kind of want nothing to do with. We live this every day, for better or worse. Sometimes it's awesome.
The successes, the stresses, all of it, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's not so awesome. So, yeah, I already live this. I'm not trying to play this. I don't know about you.
The simulation genre, I feel like it ballooned maybe 2 years ago, somewhere around there. My favorite is still Game Dev Tycoon. I really love that one. But if you're more on the, hey, I want to create a character and live a job and do a thing, you can go. And it does kind of mirror my start of like starting out in your parents' house, getting your first subscribers, moving on to 1 million subscribers. Like, it is kind of cool that you can experience that. There's a whole lot of like customization and just creating your space and your videos, and I do like when you get to like pick and see how they do, and sort of that almost like lotto style, like wait and see. Like, that's what I love about Game Dev Tycoon. Like, okay, I'm making this really cool Egyptian racing game that I hope sells 1 million copies, and it only sold 20,000. What a bummer. Or, oh my god, my little platformer named Gabe's Goofs sold 900K. That's pretty cool. So this has a whole bunch of stuff. It's a pretty like feature-full package, I guess, in terms of what you can do. I don't know the price yet, but that is November 14th. Gabe, let me give you something completely different. This is our release date update for Moonlighter, launching November 5th, officially now on Nintendo Switch. There's also a big signature edition that you can pre-order that gives you a whole lot of extras. It functions as a collector's edition with a physical cartridge and whatnot, a signed poster, a little plushie, a coin. It's a pretty cool package if you're into it. And this game is very popular on the indie scene. It is a roguelite action RPG where you are a shopkeeper and you have to go into the dungeons to find stuff to sell. Pretty cool system, pretty cool loop. I've played a bit of it. Have you ever checked this out?
I haven't. I've heard of it, but to be honest, roguelite games are, first of all, they found a perfect home with Nintendo Switch, but there's so many of them. I can't keep up with all of this. Unfortunately, it's kind of reached that point for me. But I do like the premise here that instead of being the one going through the dungeons and fighting everyone, you're still going to be doing that a little bit here, but you're just trying to find some loot to sell to people, man.
Yeah, you still do have to battle, which is pretty cool. And then you get to bring it back and set your prices. It's like it's like laid back and also intense. I know that's a terrible just conflict of words right there and themes, but it really is, because it's cool of like, okay, I'm going to pick my prices and kind of just micromanage, but then it's also intense because people are coming in and did you undercharge or overcharge, and then back to the dungeon. It does have a lot of love. I only dipped a little bit into it, so I might be picking this one up, and November 5th is just around the corner. Speaking of corners, Gabe, you can use corners in Snooker 19 to make some super cool shots. This is a beautiful, big, multi-platform release, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch in 2019. It is being developed by Lab 42, published by Ripstone Games, and features a whopping 128 top snooker players and allows you to participate in every major pro tournament.
Zach, how many snooker players can you name?
Sean Murphy. He's the world champion.
Is that real?
It's from the press release.
Oh, okay. You caught me there.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be the most authentic, realistic, best-looking version ever. It has a bunch of multiplayer modes, single-player career, TV-style presentation, and, of course, 128 of your favorite stars. Get it sometime next year.
Please let us know in the comments below if you're into snooker. I want to know you. I want to get to know you so bad.
Including such talents as Ronnie O'Sullivan, Judd Trump, Mark Selby, Ding Junhui, and, of course, Sean Murphy. All right. A name that I know more about is Tony Hawk, and this game called Collide-A-Lot is being described as Tony Hawk meets Destruction Derby, where it is an arena brawler, but you also must grind on these colored rails to take over portions of the map, and then you pop off and do battle. It's unique, never before seen gameplay, and it certainly seems that way. If you see the trailer, like, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah, look, the aesthetics, it kind of reminds me of Drawn to Death, like, a little bit in some sections when it has, like, the whole black and white thing going. But, yeah I mean, it is unique. We'll give it that, right? It features, I was going to tell you, Zach, it features post-apocalyptic jet car paint rails and a brightly colored art style, and has original soundtrack mixes, hard-hitting collisions, and epic special moves to keep opponents on their toes. Zach, can you stay on your toes?
I will say the disappointing thing for me is that it's a top-down game. I was going to give the comparison to, and I know gameplay style it's not, but it reminds me of Calling All Cars, if you remember that PlayStation 3 PSN launch title. A very fun game. Also made by David Jaffe. How weird is that?
Hey, David Jaffe's on the mind.
But yeah, it doesn't look anything like Destruction Derby. People are disappointed in that. But it could be cool. It's 4-player local multiplayer, and that it's supposed to be fun and family friendly. So there's no blood, no gore, no guns, and it's just about battling, grinding, and having a good time on November 9th. All right, from there, Gabe, I'm taking you to a Norse action-adventure game called Thimble. This is hitting early 2019. It's coming on PS4 and PC on November 29th of this year, but Switch not until we cross over the calendar. It is an action game with a character named Kveldolver, and there is a life string feature that allows him to return to earlier points in the story and walk different paths. So as you progress, you can sort of rewind backwards and then choose other alternative routes, which is kind of cool. A lot of different characters, combat that is simple to learn but hard to master. You'll be fighting Vikings, wolves, monsters, giants, and more.
Zach, Thimble's comic book style provides a gorgeous backdrop for players as they forge their own story. And you mentioned that live string feature empowers Kveldolver. What'd you say that was pronounced? Kveldolver?
I called him Kveldolver. Yeah, ooh, there you go. You got it right there.
Allowing him to return to earlier points in the story. Look, this thing looks very pretty. I'm going to say that.
It does.
I want to see what the price point is on PC and PS4, because just visually, like, this is very cool. There's some of that, snow, blood on snow stuff that, one of my favorite directors, Quentin Tarantino, does so well sometimes. So this catches my attention. The gameplay looks cool. I might check this one out, hopefully, at some point.
Yeah, it is really good looking, and we'll get to know if it's good based on the PS4 and PC releases next month. Wrapping things up, Gabe, let's take it back to 1980. Battlezone Gold Edition is coming to Switch. Now, this released earlier this year on Xbox One, PC, and PS4. It is based on that 80s arcade game, but brought to the modern era with a roguelite type campaign. And it also has 4-player multiplayer, local, and online co-op. It looks pretty cool. If you're a fan of tanks, this is probably the way to go. It does have motion control as well. It's coming out on November 8th.
This is now a couple of weeks in a row where we have games of yesteryear making their way over to Switch. This one has 2 things I don't want, like a really old game that I've never played before that, probably isn't for me, and roguelite elements, so I'm going to stay extra far away from this one.
I really love roguelites, so it's actually interesting to me. If the modernness of this is just too much for your tummy to handle, you can turn things back in the retro-inspired classic mode. There are all sorts of customization, weapons to acquire, things like that. It looks pretty neat. I'm not a tank gamer, if that's the type of gamer there is. So this may not be my cup of tea, but for fans of this stuff, it does expand the arsenal that the Switch can employ this holiday season, this trick-or-treat season. All sorts of candies, all different flavors, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, and this one has co-op, like online co-op too, so, I mean, that could be interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a pretty light week, as I mentioned. It does seem like announcements are kind of wrapping for the year. But from YouTubers Life to Moonlighter to Collide a lot, we've got Battlezone over here. We have Thimble. And then we finish up with the wonderful and sometimes crazy Snooker 19, which I know is what Gabe's most excited for.
No, the one I'm going to be most excited for here is definitely going to be Thimble. Like that game actually like looks like legitimate fun, and that I'm going to check it out at some point. Honestly, probably not on Switch, just because that's next year when I can get my hands on it this year.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part about the staggered releases that some companies do like this. But yeah, that's mine for this week.
I think Moonlighter is a really good game, and it does require a little bit of patience and just dedication to a lot of different systems, but it's really well regarded on other platforms, and I think it's a perfect fit for Switch. Again, given sort of the go to a dungeon and then manage your shop for a little bit. It's like, to me, it's perfect for stop and pop gameplay sessions, and that's one I definitely watch out for when it hits early next month. Let us know in the comments down below which of these games you are excited for, and if it's none, it's okay. Look, we don't make the games, we don't announce the games, we don't decide the games, we just bring them to you. And so sometimes these weeks aren't that exciting, and this one is, like I said, a little bit on the slim side, but try and see if there's something fun, and if not, that's okay. You've got Pokemon coming, you've got Smash coming, we just got Dark Souls and Starlink and Lego DC, so plenty to play for everyone regardless of your preference. Let us know if you're excited by any of these in the comments down below, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and its lineup of releases, whether slim or super huge. We've got you covered. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter and Discord, links in the description below, and for myself and Gabe, have a fantastic day. We love you. Switch Force out.